Today we have got lots of news. Princess has announced what their 2025-2026 season is going to look like for here in the Americas, as they call it, the Caribbean, the California coast, Mexico, all of those sailings, also out of Galveston. We've also got news from Carnival. If you'd like to go on a cruise with a little bit more of an Italian flavor, we're going to talk about river cruising and what I think about a balcony, and not even just what I think about it, just some facts, some ways to think about it. Also the itinerary, we need to talk about that a little bit and how those run on river cruises. Also, we're going to talk about the Princess World Cruise, a great perk that they have extended the offer on, and lots more. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Tuesday. It is December 12th of 2023. If you've not subscribed to our channel yet, will you please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us? That really helps us out, lets YouTube know someone's enjoying our channel, and will offer our video to more people. Really appreciate it. Plus, then you're in our Let's Go family, and we'd love to have you. Also, if you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? So I remember Tony over at Lalita Loca Forever has said what the penalty would be if you did not give a thumbs up. So I thought I would do it a little bit different, and if you give me a thumbs up, you won't have a disappointment. You will be happy. You will know that you've helped me out today and done your good deed for the day. So thank you so very much. Another thing that is really important, I want to let you know, the Carnival Panorama, just a quick update on her. She is in Victoria waiting for a time at the dock to be able to get her whale tail, her funnel put back on, then she'll be heading south. So you might recall, I let you know yesterday that she was just going to be leaving Portland, Oregon. She's already over there to Victoria, so it looks like everything is going according to schedule. Alrighty, really big news with the Star Princess. Yesterday, December 11th, is when they broadcast and let us know that they laid the keel on the brand new Star Princess. So if you're not familiar with the Star Princess, she is going to be the second ship in Princess's Sphere class series of ships, the Sun Princess, which is going to come online. The first inaugural will be on February 8th of 2024. She is the first ship in that series, in that class of ships there with Princess. So the Star Princess is going to be the next. The inaugural for the Star Princess is on August 4th of 2025. We do have a group cruise. Gordon and I have booked. We are going, as well as some of our Let's Go family members. And it's round trip out of Rome. It's 9 days. It's spectacular. It's going to be in August, which is very warm in the Mediterranean. But you know what I love about that time of year as well? To me, it's a little bit magic. It is summertime. A lot of times, everything is, well, not a lot of times, everything is in full bloom. It is beautiful. All of the shops, you're going to find that all of the shops, the museums, the restaurants, everything is open because it's part of the high season there. So in my book, it's a wonderful time to go. Anyway, so they laid the keel. If you're not familiar with what the keel is like the eye. It's made out of steel, I believe, and it goes clear from the front of the ship there at the stem. They call it from stem to stern is how they describe a keel, but clear from the very front, the bow of the ship, clear to the stern, and it is really, think of the backbone. It's placed in a place there in the shipyard in Fincantieri there in Italy, and it remains there, and then the ship will be built up around it. I thought it was kind of fun. They welded a medallion to the keel as part of the ceremony to do that. Another really fun thing about that is they have named the captain. So I believe that you pronounce his name Gennaro Arma, and he will be the captain of the Star Princess. Really fun fact, he was the captain of the Discovery Princess when I got to sail on her last year for the Love Boat cruise. I even have a picture with him and had the pleasure to meet him. And so thank you very much for the people that I got to meet him with and that lovely experience. But I just wanted to let you know that they are moving forward with this Star Princess, and I am so excited. And it is a really big deal to lay the keel of a new ship. And she is actually gosh, did they say yesterday? I think they said that she is the largest ship that they will have built at the Fincantieri shipyard there. So all of these fun things. There's a fun video out, and I don't own that video, so I don't know that it's okay to share it with you, that Princess did, though, where John Paget, the president, did a great job of talking about the Star Princess and everything we can look forward to with her. So thought that was really exciting. The next thing that I wanted to let you know is to let you know that those cruises for 2025 and 2026 there in the Caribbean, Mexico, California coast, all of those are going to go on sale for people who are elite on December 19th and for everyone else on December 20th. And so it's just right around the corner. And there are some things that stand out. One thing I was happy to see, the Regal Princess is going to come back and sail out of Galveston there for another season. Both the Sun Princess and the Star Princess are going to be running those East and West Caribbean cruises out of Fort Lauderdale. So that's huge that they would put both of their biggest, newest ships there. And so that begs the question, should we do a group cruise? I think we should. I think it would be fun. Should we do the Sun or the Star? Does anybody want to vote on that? I think that would be fun to talk about. I know that Don Terrace over with Don's Family Vacations, he has a group cruise at the beginning of December of 2024 on the Sun Princess. So I was trying to think of what we should do so that we can have fun and so that we can have the pleasure, Gordon and I, of getting to meet more of you and you can meet each other and everything. I think it would be a lot of fun. So put your vote in the comments, like the Sun Princess or the Star Princess. Okay. So that would clearly be for 2025. We wouldn't do it too terribly late because we've got our river cruise that's going to go December 7th, and we'll be sailing on that date. So we would do it earlier than that. But anyway, or maybe in January of 26. Anyway, all these things to think about. So wanted to let you know that that is wonderful. Also, really exciting news with what they released is the Sky Princess is going to be the princess ship that is going to be sailing out of Port Canaveral. So the Caribbean Princess is the other ship that is going to be sailing out of Port Canaveral. So it's really exciting that this Sky Princess will be there for a season. A couple of things really stood out to me. First of all, in 2025, it's going to be Princess's 65th year sailing there in the Mexican Riviera. And so they are going to have a special cruise. It's going to be on the Royal Princess. And when I first heard about it, I was so excited. I was like, oh, we got to do a group. But it's going on December 6th of 2025. It's a 14-day cruise. So if you want to go on something fun, it's going to be a lot of fun. But like I said, we've got the river cruise and I'm not canceling that. Even if Gordon and I are the only ones in the group going, we're going. So on that. But anyway, wanted to give you a heads up about that. Another really interesting thing is they are going to have, clearly not all at the same time, but like 5 different ships going through the Panama Canal, covering the historic locks as well as the newer locks. They've also got the Ruby Princess is going to go back and sail year-round out of San Francisco, covering the California coast. Then they're going to have the Royal Princess going out of Los Angeles down to Mexico. And then they are just kind of rotating different ships around here and there. So part of the time, the Royal Princess will be doing some Caribbean cruises and Panama Canal cruises. And then she's going to be doing some California coast cruises. And so I don't know. Tell me in the comments as well. Do you search for cruises by, like, I know overall, like when you have vacation time, you're thinking, okay, I can go for this week. So you look and see what there is that week. But if you have a little bit of latitude, do you search by which ship you want to go on? Do you search by the destination you want to go on? Or do you just pull them up according to a week or two that you definitely want to go in that window? Because I think it's really interesting that they've got so many ships moving around to sail in different places. And so depending on when you're looking, there's, might be different ships doing it. And so wanted to put that out there. Another thing that's really important to note is I noticed that they are not slowing down at all. I know we're all waiting for some rain to come down to the Panama Canal, but they have not slowed down all of the offerings that they are doing for the Panama Canal. The other day I got an email from, I get these a lot, and I kind of run out of time to reply to everyone. But I have not seen any cancellations for any cruises going through the Panama Canal. The other day I mentioned that Royal Caribbean rearranged. They canceled one of their ships that was going to be going through the Panama Canal, but they canceled the whole season of that. So I don't think that it was due to the drought. I think they just repositioned that ship and decided to do other sailings. So I have not heard of any cruises canceled due to low water levels, and clearly the cruise lines are optimistic because they're still planning more cruises there. So we've got that, and then also it's a really big deal what they are doing with Hawaii and the South Pacific, including they are going to have, let me find it here, a 50-something day cruise. A 54-day South Pacific, Australia, and New Zealand cruise. They're going to go to 16 different islands. This will be on the Island Princess. 16 different islands, including Fiji, Samoa, Tasmania, and the island continent of Australia, it says, with late night stays in Honolulu, Tahiti, Sydney, Brisbane. So I think it's fun when they do late night stays, because then you have so much more time to explore everything. So take a look. If you've got any questions or need me to help you book a cruise, I would be delighted to help you. There are just so many offerings. I don't want to bore you going through the list, but I think Princess has really outdone themselves with what they are offering in their 2025 and 2026 offerings. And I feel like in looking, there one thing, let me tell you this, they are going to one thing that they have really mixed up, I was just thinking of, so often, you think of the Caribbean as well, doing that, seeming a little bit boring, but not boring, but just repetitive, I guess is the word that I'm thinking of. But what they're doing with their ships, I think, is original. So instead of just, so like I said, the Sun and Star Princess are going to run those east and west, alternating Caribbean cruises, but like the Majestic Princess is going to be doing 8-day Southern Caribbean sailings that will hit the ABC Islands, then also some 8-day Eastern Caribbean and some 6-day Western Caribbean voyages. The Enchanted Princess is going to do some of the 10-day Southern Caribbean cruises. So anyway, I just think that there's a lot of options. So if you feel like you don't want to go far afield to go on a cruise, you want to stay departing here in the United States and a little bit closer, this is a really good way to do it. So I recommend you take a look at those itineraries. I know Gordon and I are. So really quickly, they have Princesses, already announced their 2025 World Cruise. But if you book it from now through February 29th of 2024, they're going to add the Plus package for free. So regardless of if you're going to book it anyway, this is good, because then you get the gratuities covered, as well as, all of the drinks that you want. You've got the Wi-Fi for the whole trip. Those are the things that I think are always the most valuable. And then if you want, you can eat those desserts every day and a few things, random things like that. But I think that is really what stands out the most. But I wanted to let you know, I am really excited that Princess not only runs their world cruises so that they have departures out of Australia, but if you're looking at a world cruise, they also have departures that are out of the United States that run round trip. So they've got round trip from Fort Lauderdale, they've got round trip from Los Angeles, and then they also have the world cruise, that you can leave from Los Angeles and return to Fort Lauderdale. But then in addition to that, they have several different segments that you can book, and they range in days. It's really interesting. The longest segment is 66 days. Down to the shortest segment is just 21 days. So you really can pick the segment that visits the places that you want to see in the world if you don't have time or the money to go for the whole world cruise, which is really valuable because they go to a lot of places on the world cruise that Princess doesn't go the rest of the time. And I do notice that their calls in Egypt and Jordan and in the Middle East are still on the itinerary for 2025. So clearly there's a lot of optimism that they'll be able to visit those places. So just thought I would put it on your radar. And if you want the Plus package, though, you can't get away with booking the shorter world cruise segments. You either have to book a segment that is 101 days or the ones that are 116 days. Those shorter ones are not eligible to get the plus package. Okay, so if you've got any questions about that, let me know, and I'm delighted to help you with that as well. Now, let me talk to you for a minute here about questions over on our Facebook group. And I know these come up a lot when you're thinking of going on a kind of cruise that you have never been on before. So we're going to talk about a river cruise here for a minute, and you can stick with me even if you don't want to come with us on the Christmas market one that we've got planned in 2025, because a lot of the information I'm going to share with you applies to any river cruise that you're going to book, okay? And it doesn't matter which cruise line you're going to go on, or even the time of year that you're going to go. First of all, let's talk about balconies. On river boats, they have it so that you're going to end up having the option that you can book a cabin that is on the lower level there, and there's windows high up. And to me, when I look at those, in all of the pictures that I've looked at, and I've looked at a lot trying to decide about this, the windows that you're going to book are a little bit higher up. So you're not going to be sitting on a chair in your cabin there looking out the window. They're going to be higher up. It is nice that you get daylight. I love daylight. It makes a huge difference. And if that is how you can afford to go on a river cruise, book it and go. Absolutely. Don't stay home because you can't afford a balcony or the bigger, basically a balcony. Don't not go because of that. Absolutely. When you think about being on a riverboat, let me tell you about this first. So first of all, on the riverboat, you're going to have your cabin area. And then on the back of the ship there aft, there's always a bunch of windows and a seating area where you can look out. And then also forward on the ship, because the cabins are in between, there is like a lounge and areas where you can sit. And look, they've got floor-to-ceiling windows, lots of chairs. You can enjoy the view there. They'll have the dining area. And when we went on Avalon last year, there were windows. It was a beautiful view out there as well. And so there are lots of places to sit. And then also on the top deck of the riverboat, if the weather is good, you can sit up there as well. They'll have chairs up there so that you can sit there. The week that we happened to go this last spring, it rained and it rained and it rained quite a bit. So we did not ever sit up on that top deck. The night that we did the illumination sailing in Budapest, we were out there. It wasn't raining then, and it was just absolutely spectacular. It was cold, but that was okay. It was so beautiful that we got to be up there then, but really that's the only time that we spent time on that top deck just due to the weather. But we saw beautiful scenery either out of the balcony there in our room, as well as sitting and just enjoying the views from the lounge areas. So when you think about that, there are lots of places to sit and take in the views. Let me tell you what I really enjoyed about our cabin. We had the balcony, and on Avalon they do it a little bit differently. The whole wall is like a sliding glass door, a huge window with a sliding glass door. And so we didn't have it so that you could really step out. There's not a balcony that you walk out onto. But you could open the door, and there were chairs right there. And so sometimes we opened that, and until we got too cold, we would pull our chairs up and just take in the views of the river. It is so beautiful, and it's a little bit different being on a river, because when you're on a cruise ship, you are so far out from land. Most of the time, sometimes you can see land in the distance, but it's not that way on a river cruise. You are, depending on where you are on the river, the Danube's not that big across, and so you have spectacular views of all of the villages and towns and vineyards and apricot orchards, everything as you sail by the castles. It's just beautiful, and so you really can see that really well, and so we thoroughly enjoyed having that. Now, they always give you the caveat that when you wake up in the morning, to just open the curtains a little bit, make sure that you are not already docked with a riverboat right next to you, so that someone, if you're looking into someone else's window. But generally, if you are not docked there and you're going down the river, you can enjoy the beautiful views while you're getting ready in the morning. I just really enjoyed that. But at the same time, like I said, if you cannot afford that, all is not lost. Book your cruise, go sit in the lounge, and have a lovely time that way. I just really enjoyed it that sometimes, well, I always need to do a video, but other than that, sometimes it's just nice to sit and look out the window and in the privacy of your own cabin. But at the same time, like I said, there's lots of places to look. The other thing that we really enjoyed having the balcony for, the door that would open, is because when you go through the locks, when you traveling along the Danube, you will go through several locks, and it was really cool to be able to open the window and experience that, because I don't know how else you're going to experience that. So going through, you get to see the water go down, you see the water come up. A lot of times the wall of the lock is right there, like I touched it. It's just a very cool thing. So like I said, just do it however you would like to do. But those are just some things to think about. I think, yeah, it's just wonderful. You're going to love going on a river cruise, whether you have the balcony or whether you have the interior. The other thing to remember about a river cruise is it's very different from ocean cruising, from the standpoint of you don't have huge production shows to go to every evening. There is no casino. It's just a whole different experience. It's absolutely lovely. You get up in the morning, you go have your breakfast. If you are already docked, then you'll put yourself, get your stuff, and you go and depart on the excursion that you've got booked. If you didn't want to book an excursion, then you go off on your own. But come back whenever you want to. They just have it so that you swipe your little card as you come and go, so they know if you're on the ship or not. But you can come and go all that you want until it's time to go. When we went this spring, all of our departures were late in the evening, except for, and I'll tell you about this on the itinerary, but you really do just come and go as much as you want to. They are a little bit flexible sometimes. If there's a lot of river traffic, then everybody's on the boat. Sometimes they'll leave just a little bit early, or if there's a lot of river traffic, you're going to be there longer than you thought. But when you think about the distances on the river, they're much shorter than a lot of the distances are that the ship needs to travel when you are in like on an ocean cruise. So it's just a whole different vibe. You'll have a lovely cocktail hour every evening where they're going to talk to you about the activities for the next day, what excursions, what's entailed in those excursions, how everything is going to run. They'll talk to you usually about some history of the place that you're going to be visiting, and just give you a good lay of the land for the next day. Everybody sits there. It's a special time. Everybody enjoys being together, and then it'll be dinner time. And if you happen to be in the port, though, when this is going on, you can be there or you can not be there. You can do whatever you want. And so you'll go have dinner, then you can come back up if you would like to and watch whatever entertainment they're showing that evening. They'll have a wide variety of things. I mentioned the other evening, like they had singers come on board. When we were on this spring, they had some from Slovakia. They had a musical group came on and they played some beautiful music, sang. It was just really fun. Lots of different things. And so you can sit there and enjoy that, or you can go sit somewhere else. If you want to go sit in the back where that's not going on, you can, or go enjoy sitting in your cabin. There's just all of these different things, but it is much more laid back and much more I think you'll find dinner is lovely every evening. It's a special event. And so, yeah, ask me individual questions if you think of them. The other really important thing to talk about here is the itinerary. Now, the itinerary, you would probably, if you have requested information from me or clicked on my link to go look at the information, the itinerary really is quite rough compared to what we are used to getting from when we look at an ocean cruise itinerary, okay? We are used to, when we look at those itineraries, we're going to get into port at 7 o'clock and we're going to leave at 7 p.m., whatever it is. And so when we get much closer to the cruise, they will release the itinerary. I was trying to remember how close it was when we went in the springtime. I want to say it was a couple of weeks out, but let me give you a feel, since this is very similar. Well, it's basically the same itinerary that we did, but it was tweaked a little bit in the springtime. When you, for example, the day in Linz, that day is the day that you can go to Český Krumlov, you can go for a full day in Salzburg. It says you can go do the Cultural Mile bike tour, or you can do UNESCO City of Media Arts walking tour and Christmas markets there in Linz. And so when we did that, what we ended up doing is they stopped early that morning. Before we got to Linz, they stopped really early in the morning. Oh gosh, like at 6 or 7 our excursion left. Maybe like at 7, but it was early, and took us on the bus over to Český Krumlov, because it is a ride, a while to get there. And then we had several hours there in Český Krumlov. Then the bus drove us back, and we met the ship in Linz. When we got to Linz, they did a nice tour for us, and then they took us back to the ship. We were in that port until like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I remember at the time thinking, I should have thought about this sooner. We should have gotten off the ship, even though dinner was fine. I wish that I would have thought ahead and planned dinner in town, or even been thinking on my feet enough to think, you know what, I want to go into Linz because you're right there. I should have gotten a taxi and gone. We should have gone for dinner in Linz to enjoy, a real Austrian dinner. So you have a lot of latitude, and I'm going to be better at thinking on my feet about this. And as it gets closer, I'll tell you ideas that Gordon and I have for doing that. But you really have all this time. Another thing that happened is the day that you see on the itinerary, it talks about going to the town of Spitz, Melk and then Spitz. And so on our itinerary, we ended up stopping so that we got at a town I can't remember the name of. We got off the riverboat onto the bus, and it was an included excursion. They took us to that Arstetten Castle where we enjoyed the day, where Archduke Ferdinand, who was killed, his assassination started World War I. It's his family seat, and it's where he and his wife are buried. That's where we went. And so the riverboat dropped us off. We got on the bus, went and enjoyed that, and then the bus took us back to the town of Spitz, and the riverboat was there, and we got back on. We walked around Spitz a little bit. It's not a really big town. And then we got back on the boat, continued on, and we're in Vienna that evening so that we could enjoy Vienna late. And then the next day we enjoyed Vienna all day long and left later in the evening from Vienna. And so, like I said, when it gets closer, we will have all these times. I've been doing a lot of research on Christmas markets. It sounds like an awful lot of them open at noon. And so we will be able to see them wherever it is that we're visiting. And it gets dark. Gordon brought this up with me. He's like, it gets dark, like 5 o'clock at that time. And he looked up a bunch of sunset times, and so it will be dark early, so we'll be able to see everything lit up. And I truly envision having the option that if you want to stay there in the Christmas market area and get some food there, you can get some food, or if you want to go back to the ship and have dinner, you can do that. I'm going to be inclined to staying there and trying the local food there, even though the dinner would already have been included. But I think that they are surely, with it being a Christmas market cruise and with it being on the waterways, we are surely going to be there long enough to thoroughly enjoy the Christmas markets. I'm not worried about that at all. While I can't tell you the exact hours, I think they're going to do a very good job of making sure we see everything. The other thing that I even looked up to get from Bratislava over to Budapest, Hungary. So Bratislava is in Slovakia. It's like 107 nautical miles from Bratislava over to Budapest. And so when you think of leaving there a little bit later, they sail all night while you're asleep. And so then you'll still get to Budapest in plenty of time to see things and then be able to go see the Christmas markets there. And the really nice thing is they don't mind how much you come and go. And so if you do one excursion and then you want to spend the afternoon or evening doing your own thing, you can, or vice versa. As long as you're there when the excursion that you want to go on goes, then you're good. And you do sign up for those. You sign up for them online, and you can also sign up for them once you get on the ship, okay? And then also when it gets a little bit closer, I don't know if there's going to be any extra charge for any of those excursions that they've got listed here, or if any others will show up. That's another thing that we'll have to see when it gets a little bit closer. So when you have more questions, even if you've got more questions about things with the itinerary that I didn't cover, here. Ask me if you've got other questions about the balcony. Ask me anything else, and I'll talk about it here, because I think it helps everybody when they're thinking of river cruising, or if they're thinking of coming with us. It'll help you, give you a good point of reference. So I'm sorry this turned out to be kind of a long video. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.